Hello everyone, and welcome to Friday Fun Day. Hey Janet, hi Fancy Pants, good morning Doris. It's gonna get really hot. I know, I walked out yesterday during the middle of the day, because of course in here it's cool, we have our AC going. And then I walked out and this like heat, I felt like I was in Arizona. It was crazy. Hi Lynette, hey Laurel, hi Leanie. So good to see you guys. Thank you guys for joining me. We already have quite a few people on. That's great. So today I thought I would change it up a little bit and show you one of my favorite things. And I don't know if you guys can guess it or not, but I think you can. If you know me by now, you know what one of my favorite things are. And so I'm going to show you a little bit of IQ Designer or My Design Center today. So no projects, just a little technique for those of you who have the machines and are looking to make a last minute gift or something for Easter. You could do a card, you can embroider this on felt, you can make a little basket. I'll have a little basket that I'm going to show you. So anyways, it's just super fun, super easy, and what can I say? I love it. Okay, so let's see who just joined us. Good morning, Diamond. Good morning, Margie. Welcome, you guys. Good to see you. Let me change cameras. Well, actually, let me just show it to you here first, and then I will change cameras so you guys can see it up close and personal. So let's see where my camera is. Woo, I can't do this. There we go. Can you guys see that? See the egg without this little... There we go. So that's what I'm going to show you, is how to make that little Easter egg. Cute, right? So the Easter egg was an artwork that I grabbed from the computer. You know, Google's one of my good friends. And so I just printed the artwork. I always want to go and show it here because I see you guys here, but the camera is here. So sorry about that. I just went ahead and printed this out. Now, if you have a machine that has the app, you can just capture that image on your phone and then bring it in that way. So, a couple of ways to do that. Today, though, I thought I would show you how to do it using the scanning mat. I haven't covered that one in a while, so I thought, you know what, let me just kind of go back to the basics, because that's how this machine started, is with that scanning mat. So let me change cameras real quick. Good morning, Mary Jane. Hey, Marty. All right. Oh, you like my nails? Okay, so Laurel, there's a story behind this nail. So I wanted a pink, and I liked this. There's two pinks I was debating with. I thought one might be too light, so I thought I'll go a little bit brighter. But it's kind of like a pink purple, so I'm not sure. So you like it? I don't know. I think I like it. Yeah, I mean, I do like it. What can I say? I'm really picky about my colors on my nails. It's so funny. I don't know. I don't know why I'm like that. But okay, so here's my artwork. Let me show you the design again, just kind of flattening my bag out here. So here is, and look at the size difference, right? Huge compared to this tiny guy. So this one here, you can put it on just about anything. I thought you could just make even cards and embroider this on felt. And just put it in those, you know, OESD has those blank cards that we can put that on. This one here is straight embroidery. There's no applique on there, but I'm thinking, my hand. Oh, thanks, Marty. Yeah, you know what? It's growing on me. But in certain lights, I'll have to admit. So right here, it looks beautiful pink, but in certain lights, it has a purple kind of tint to it, and I'm not a purple person, really. Anyways. So this egg is straight embroidery, no applique, nothing. Quick fills, a little bit of outline, and bam, you're done. Then I'll take you one step further. For those of you who want to challenge yourselves, I'm going to show you how to take a design and make it into an embroidery. So are you guys ready for some fun? Let's go ahead, and I will be right back. I need to turn on the air conditioning in here. Speaking of hot, it's already warm in here. So give me a quick second. I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Have to cool myself down here. It's like 70 something in here. Whew. Okay, so where are we here? Let's go ahead and show you. Let me move my sample out of the way. Let me get the mat. So here is the scanning mat. And the scanning mat comes with 6 green magnets. Now this scanning mat works with the following machine. So it works with the Solaris and Luminaire, and then it works with the Destiny and the Dream machine. Okay, so those 4 models. Now if you have the Meridian, the Altair, and any of the 2 Stellaire models, you would just save this image. Instead of printing it like I did, you would save it on your phone, you know, on your photos on your phone, and then bring it up through the app. And quite frankly, that's actually a really easy way to do it. But I wanted to show you this process because it's been a while. So you have 6 magnets. You don't need all 6 at the same time. I usually use maybe 2, maybe 4, and I keep the other ones because, you know, inevitably I'll lose one, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put the magnets, I'm putting the magnets out of the way of this. So if you, for example, I used to put them like this, and sometimes I still do, but if I need to crop this, the magnets get in my way. So I'll either put it at the very top, like really getting it out of the way, being mindful not to get close to that black, right? Because you need that. And then I'll put 2 maybe on the bottom, or I could put it on the side. Either way, it doesn't really matter. It's not going anywhere. So I'm just going ahead and put my paper down. I've got my magnets on, and now I'm going to go over to my machine. Okay, so let me go ahead and change cameras. Probably need to wake up the machine and all that good stuff. All right, I'm going to move my mic so it's closer to me, and here I go. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just attach, and I don't have a camera on this. I'm just attaching I guess I could. Hang on a second. Let me get another camera on here real quick. It's super easy to do. Give me 1 second. Let me turn my other camera on and see if I can do this. Okay. All right, so here is the scanning mat. It's attached to my machine. And then all I need to do is I'm going to click on a couple of things on the machine, and then I'll come back and show you how it's scanning. So I'm going to bring you back over to the machine screen for just a second. And on the machine screen, I'm going to need to adjust a little bit. There we go. We need to see the top here. On the machine screen, you have an icon, and it's the scanning image icon. And so I'm going to click on that, and I'm actually going to click on line design because mine is a black and white artwork. I'm going to click on line design. You have options here. You have a couple of options actually. Try to get my camera so you can see the whole thing. Image scan is if you really wanted to take a picture of what's in your hoop, for example, for placement purposes, things like that. Illustration is more for a colored image. And then line design is a black and white. So I'm going to click on line design, and I'm going to click on the word scan. So I'll click on the word scan, and then I'll click on the word OK. And now let me go ahead and change camera so you guys can watch it scan, and it's just going to scan my artwork. Now they say when you're doing this not to put a thread in the needle because sometimes the hanging thread will get scanned in as well. So they recommend when you are doing this not to have your machine threaded. So it'll just take a minute here. It'll scan the whole design. Did you guys ever imagine a scanning mat on an embroidery machine? I mean, that's crazy, right? Oh, Laurel, purple looks good with, that's true. Purple and red do look good together. Oh, Laurel, you had that happen? Yeah, it scans that thread, right? But you know what? I do it all the time. I'm lazy, so I'm lazy to unthread it. So I know it bugs me after I do it, but then I have to rescan it. So it's like, why didn't I just take the thread off the machine in the first place? Okay, so I know, digital cutters, scanning mats on the machines. I mean, what's next? I'm really waiting for a coffee maker on my machine. Wouldn't that be cool? Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. Here is the egg on the screen. Isn't that fun? And then you have these red arrows on the corner. So we're going to crop our image here. So I'm just going to take this arrow and bring it down, and I'm going to do it so that I make sure that I have the egg and not the green magnet. So I'm just cropping this image, and it might be easier with my hand. I'm using a mouse to crop, and sometimes when I'm using the cropping feature, it's easier with my hand than the mouse. I don't know why. All right, there we go. Good enough. Let's see. Let me go a little bit closer. So I'm just cropping my image, and then I'm going to click OK. All right, so there's the image on my screen, and then I'm going to say set. So as soon as you bring the design on the screen, you can see your green magnets. It captures the whole thing, but it's really not there. If you click on this opacity icon here on the top, that's your image. So you have it on your machine here. And let me zoom in so you guys can take a look at it. And just so it looks pretty good. It came out to be a nice, nice clean image. So that's the other important thing, is when you are bringing in images, you know, if it's a clean image coming in, you'll get a better result going out, right? So you want to make sure that you have a really nice, crisp, clean image. Otherwise, you're going to have to do a lot of editing, and it's hard. You can do some, of course, on the machine, but it's hard because of the way the screen is positioned. You don't have a place to rest your hand necessarily, and it's smaller than, like, let's say a laptop or a desktop with a big monitor. So you do want to crop as much as you can. Bring in a clean image as best as you can. Okay, so here is my design, and I'm going to do, the first one I'm going to do is just like my sample, really simple, basic fills, and show you how easy that is and how simple it is. And this is great for those of you who don't use software, computer software, or who don't like to do computer software, or you're looking to do something really quick and you don't want to break out your software or open it up or fire up your computer. You just want something easy. You can do it right on the machine. So the first thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and fill in these areas. So I'm going to click on my fill properties icon, and you have options here. You have a stipple fill. You also have these fancy fills that you can choose from. So you have a lot of fill options. For this particular egg, I'm just going to go ahead and just do a basic fill, which is this one right here. It's just your basic weave fill. And I'm going to pick, let's say, a light pink. And I'm going to click on my bucket or the cup icon to activate that. And then I'm just going to click anywhere that I want to fill. So let's go ahead and do inside these zigzag parameters here. Oh, look, it's looking good already. Look at that. And then I'll go back over because I want to change color. Now, changing color only means that your machine will stop. So if you want your machine to stop so you can put a different color, you do need to change the color on the screen. Otherwise, the machine thinks it's all one color and it will not stop. So we're going to go ahead and let's pick another color, and we'll click inside these two sections. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is click in the circles to digitize those. So let's pick maybe a yellow. Let's do a bright yellow. And then we're just going to click inside that. All right, my friends, I am done. Crazy, right? Crazy. And the reason I'm done is the outline is already going to be a satin stitch. That's by default. So let me go ahead and show it to you. Let me go ahead and click on the word next and prove it to you that it's done. This design is digitized. So it's super easy, super fast to do. Now, of course, I don't like the black, go to 200% so you guys can see that. I don't like the black outline here, but of course,
that's just on the machine. When you are when you are sewing it out, you can put whatever color you want. But do you see how easy that is? And then I would just click on the word set, I would click on the word okay, and there you go. My design is done. Class dismissed. Cool, right? I'm gonna go ahead and save it to my machine's memory. Just kind of scrolling through the comments to see if there's any questions you guys have on that process. It's pretty basic, pretty easy. Click, 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 and you're done. All right, looks like nobody has any questions, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on. So the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and just click home on my machine here. So let's say I wanted to make that egg an applique. So when you want to make it an applique, or you want to fine tune it a little bit or change it up, there's a little bit more involved with that. So to do that, we're going to click on my design center, and I'm going to go ahead and start back up at my scan icon, and I'm going to click on line design. Now the good thing is this design, because I already scanned it once, it's on my machine's memory. All I have to do is click on the sewing machine, and you'll see my design is right there. Is that not cool? I don't have to rescan that. Good morning, Liz. So all I do is click on set, and here is my design. So once again, I do need to crop it though. Oops, gone too far. All right, so I've cropped my design. I'm gonna click OK, and then I'm gonna click on the word set. Okay, so there's my design. The first thing I always do is get rid of the background image, so I just have my egg here. Marty, no, you shouldn't have to. It should be there as well under the sewing machine icon. Okay, so then I'm here, and now I want to make some modifications. So first thing I'm going to do, let's say I don't want the circles, I just want that little chevron stitch. So let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to kind of navigate to the very top of the egg, and then I'm going to click my eraser icon. It's a size 20. I'll probably just leave it at that and click on a square option. And I'm going to click on my screen here, an empty space, to see if that size square is okay. And it's fine. I don't want it to be too big, otherwise I'm going to make a mistake and erase part of the design that I don't want. So I'm just erasing the design, and I'm going to go ahead and erase all of my circles. So I'm going to slide over, click on my eraser icon again, and then just, now if you want to zoom in further, you can. So this machine goes up to 1600%. So let me go to 800% so I can really get in here and make sure I don't delete something I shouldn't be deleting. And I'm going to slide back over to the left side, make sure I was okay over here. Yeah, see I have a little hole here. So no problem, I'm just going to click on my little pencil icon. Actually, I'm going to erase it. Whoops, way too big. You know what happened is I went to 800%, and so my magnification for my eraser is bigger now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase that. I'm going to go back over to 800%, and I'm going to just connect the lines. All right, there we go. So now let's go back here and let's erase these little circles. These are easy to erase, just because there's nothing really around it, so it's easy to erase. Okay, now I'm going to come here and I'm going to be a little bit more careful. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to erase, and I'm going to go then I'm going to go on the left side here, erase that one. Now, of course, you can find an image that doesn't have the circles and it has a chevron or whatever, right? You can do all of that good stuff too. But there you go. So there's your design without the circle. So it's modified. So you're not limited by what you get from the computer or, you know, your image that you start off with. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to save it to my machine's memory because that was a little bit of work that I did. I don't want to have to redo it again. So to make it an applique, what is involved? So an applique is a placement stitch, a tack down, and then a satin stitch, right? 3 steps for an applique. So right now I have all this stuff going on in the center, but if I go ahead, let me just show it to you. If I go ahead and click on and make a placement stitch, I'm going to make it a double run. I'm going to say click on the color red, and if I click on the outline, watch what happens. The entire design just turned red. So that's not what I want. I want just the outer perimeter of this egg red. So to do that, I need to break up those lines. I need to break up the chevron stitch from the outer portion of this egg. So I'm going to come in here and go at about 800% so you guys can see. And here's the top of the egg because you can see it's the curve. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on my eraser icon and I'm going to take it down to a smaller number. So I'm going to go down to maybe about a 2. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to erase this part of the design. Okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and come with my hand again, come down here and click on my eraser and I'm going to erase it again. So I'm just separating the chevron stitch from the actual outline. Oops. All right, I'm at the bottom, so I'm going to go heading towards the right side of this egg. Coming around here, I'm at the bottom portion, so I'm going to go ahead, separate that. I'm going to come up here. So I'm just going around and I'm separating the lines. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm at the top. So I'm back to my 100% and now I'm going to resave it again because that was a lot of work. So I'm going to go ahead and click on memory and then resave that. So now if I were to do that test again, if I were to go ahead and set it as an outline, only the outer perimeter turned red. Let me go to 200% so you guys can see that. The outer portion of my egg turned red, everything else is black, right? So now that's exactly what I want. However, to do a placement line, I don't want the inside line, these chevrons, to stitch out. So I'm going to go up here to my line properties and select a no stitch, like a no sew line is what they call it. And I'm going to go ahead and touch the bucket and then click on these 4 lines. So all I have is my red outline, okay? My red outline. And I'll go ahead and save that one more time to my machine's memory. And then I'll click on the word next. So this becomes my placement line for the applique. And I'll click on the word set and I'll click on the word OK. When it's here, you can see on the screen it's not centered in my screen. So I'm going to go ahead and just center it. And to do that, I'm going to click on the word size and there's a little red, not a red dot, a little dot here. And it just places that design dead center. Now I'm going to make a tack down line. So to do that, I'm going to click on the duplicate icon and then I'm going to go ahead and center that again. So I'll click on the size and make it bullseye. So it's right on top of each other. So just like that, I created the placement line and the tack down line. Now we need the satin stitch, but before the satin stitch, we want to add those detail, the little chevron stitches, right? So let's go back and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the word add. I'm going to click on My Design Center or IQ Designer, depending on your machine, and you're going to go back up to your memory pocket. So some machines' memory pocket is here at the right-hand corner. Some of them are on the bottom here. It just depends on your model. Once I click on the memory pocket, I'm going to click on the last egg that I saved, and I'll click OK. And now I'm going to select a decorative stitch for this chevron. So I'm going to go back up to my line properties and click on a candle wicking stitch because that's one of my favorites. And let's make it green. And I'll click on this bucket or the cup icon, and I'm going to touch all of my chevron stitches because I want that to be candle wicking. I don't want anything else. So this red outline here, I'm going to make that a no sew line. So now I just have my candle wicking stitches. I'll go ahead and click on the word next. And at this point, you can see how they look, and you can change the size of them if you wanted to. You can make them bigger, you can make them smaller, you can change the spacing. I'll just leave it the way it is. I'll click on the word set, click on the word OK, and you can see it's offset. Why is that? Remember, we centered the egg. So that's the next thing we need to do is click on the word edit, size, and hit center, and it's centered. Now, one thing I am going to do, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so you guys can see that. See how my candle wicking stitch is going right up to my outline? And then I'm going to have a satin stitch. So I think my candle wicking, maybe I didn't erase enough, so that would have been one option. You could have erased more along the edges, or you can just go to size and reduce it a little bit so that it's not really touching the outline, so that when you do your satin stitch, the satin stitch and the candle wicking stitch will not overlap. So I've gone ahead and done that. I'm going to go back now and add my satin stitch. So I'll go ahead and click on the word add. I'm going to go back over to my design center or IQ Designer. I'm going to click on this memory pocket one more time, clicking on my design. And this time I'm going to click on my line properties and select the satin stitch, which is their default. I'll change the color. Let's make it a pink so you guys can see that. I'll click on my bucket or the cup icon. I clicked on that outline, and when I click on the word next, you can see that it's a satin stitch. It's a very narrow satin stitch. I like them a little bit wider, so I'm going to click on the width icon, and I'm going to bump it up to 0.200. There you go, nice and beefy. Click on the word set, click on the word OK. One more time. You have like a little panic attack, right? Because it's like, oh my God, it's offset. Click on the word edit, size, and center that. And there you go. Click on the word embroidery, and let's zoom in so you guys, or magnify it so you guys can see that. Oops. Magnify. There you go. There is the egg, and it is an applique. So with one artwork, you can do a multiple different things, multiple different looks, different effects. I hope that was useful for you guys. Let me go ahead and change cameras and see if there's any questions I can answer for you. All right, let me move over to the center. As my son would say, you're never centered at the camera. He'd be proud of me. I remembered today. All right, let's see if there's any questions. So Mary Jane, there is no Destiny Club. I used to do clubs years ago before the pandemic. We would meet here in the store once a month. But because we couldn't do that, I started bringing everything on Facebook. And so I do have my Tuesday, every other Tuesday tips and tricks group. And I cover a lot of techniques, a lot of different tips and tricks. And some are projects, some are technique based. So that's what I'm doing right now because I'm not doing club here in the store as of yet. But you know, things can change. Okay. Denise, thank you so much. Thanks Laurel. Thanks Leanie. Thanks Fancy Pans. I hope you guys had a great time. I know it's not a project, and for those of you who don't have IQ Designer or My Design Center, I'm sorry. I just kind of wanted to, this is just something that I love, and I just thought I wanted to share it with those of you who do have it, and just a quick, easy project. I think I may do on a Friday Fun Day, maybe one a month, just on IQ or My Design Center, just something different. But for those of you who are interested, I do have some good deals as well on this machine. So let me see if there's any more questions. When you sew out the applique, does a candle wicking? So Margie, you can make the candle wicking stitch bigger or smaller depending on the look you want. So I made mine a little bit small, so right now I could see that there was a little bit of space, and maybe next time I would make it a little bit bigger. But you can do that. Oh, Marty, you actually understood. You know more than you think you know. That's all I've got to say. You know more than you think you know. You've got this, Marty. Thanks, Liz. Thanks, Janet. All right, my friends. I hope you guys enjoyed my Friday fun day. It was a little different from our normal. And you guys have a great rest of the weekend. For those of you in SoCal, stay cool. It's going to be a hot one. And we shall talk to you guys soon, all right? Take care, my friends. Bye.